UFC 268.
In the books.
Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington just fought it out, and this was looking to be one of the most stacked cards probably in the history of the UFC.
And it delivered.
Yeah, everything from the prelims to the main card was an absolute banger. Like, literally, this probably was one of the best cards I've seen. Like, for the fight quality, but there was some dodgy scoring tonight, I'll say that.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get into...
Fuck yeah.
we'll get into that. The Instagram comments were just getting lit up during this event. Like,
Yes.
I was loving it.
We were antagonising a few people, which is always fun to do.
Yeah, especially after every decision when it's like questionable.
Close, yeah.
My favourite thing to do is just go in the comments and MMA fans, they get so triggered.
Tanner, this is for you.
Yeah,
Fuck
so
yeah.
triggered and so salty. I just love the chaos.
Yeah.
The chaos.
I do love Chaos Covington.
Yeah. Okay, so let's fucking... I'm on the UFC site here. It's a bit of a piece
That's
of
official. That's
bit of a
official.
fucking piece of shit, if I do say so.
Are we starting on prelims or?
How do you look at the prelim? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Prelims. Did we start watching from the prelims?
I was there for the... I missed the Shabazian fight.
I saw the finish of it. He got trapped in a crucifix, and then...
And Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, pretty much just got TKO'd.
That guy's French, so I like him. The guy that beat him.
Phil Hawes versus Chris Curtis.
This was mad.
This was insane. I was in the McDonald's drive-thru and just had this on my phone, and it absolutely fucking blew my mind.
Yeah, Phil Hawes was like fucking him up.
And I didn't know of Chris Curtis before this, but apparently it had a kind of a hard...
Yeah, this was his UFC debut.
Yeah, and had to have a lot of fights to
30,
actually get there.
35 fights.
Yeah, and it looks to just be Phil Hawes absolutely fucking him up on the feet, then out of
Shattering
nowhere
the
absolutely
dream.
fucking cracks him, and he just couldn't recover. And that was actually pretty fucking inspirational to see.
Yeah, the delayed knockdown as well.
Yeah, and obviously he was fucking stoked about that, so that was sick. Oh... I already forgot about it. Ally Quinter, one of the worst performances I've ever seen.
Usually I would say people were just there for the paycheck at that point, but they just didn't even feel like he was there for the paycheck. It just felt like he was there to get embarrassed.
It was so easy. Bobby Green, his head just didn't move. He got. It was so easy for him, and he just got stopped in the first round, silencing the crowd.
Fuck Bobby Green.
I hate both of them. But
Bobby Green and Cheeto Vera are on the same wavelength. They think every fight's a fucking title fight.
Yeah. And then to close off the prelims, we had Alex Pereira making his UFC debut, the one man to have finished Adesanya. You won't stop hearing that for the rest of his fucking...
twice, actually.
Yeah, I think the first fight was a robbery, but I mean, whatever it was. And then he was against some scrub, but obviously...
Andreas.
Obviously, his skills are going to get tested coming to the UFC, and no one's going to stand with him.
He's only had 4 mixed martial arts bouts.
And did lose one. So I was interested
that was his
to see.
Very first fight.
I wouldn't have been surprised if he got taken down and just held on the ground or against the cage the whole fight.
He did for the first round.
Yeah, after the first round, I was expecting that's what it was going to be. I was like, oh, okay, right, is this just what it is going to be? And then out of nowhere, second round, bam, flying knee, just sends him home.
Yeah, I felt bad for old Andreas. I thought he was going to
that's probably the biggest fight he's ever going to get, really.
Probably. To be fair, wasn't he on a 3-fight win streak?
Was he?
I think so.
I don't know.
But yeah, forget the prelims. Let's get to the main card. Let's get to the good stuff.
Opening with a fucking bang, the Just Bleed sign is out. Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. Probably one of the most anticipated fights ever for me.
Yeah.
Especially in the lightweight division. Just two absolute brawlers who don't know how to fucking quit and just, they just live and breathe performance bonuses. Especially Gaethje with his career in the UFC. He hasn't ever been in a boring fight. He always is in a war. And this fully delivered. This is one of the best 3-round fights I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Especially the first round, probably one of the best rounds I've ever seen in my life.
It was just non-stop, fucking leg kicks, huge fucking bombs.
I don't know how they survived it, especially those leg kicks. I don't know how they even fucking walked. Chandler looked like he was a beast for this first round.
He looked like a fucking Walking Dead character, literally. It looked like his jaw was tearing off at some parts.
He was fucking Gaethje up, though, and I was thinking, fuck, Chandler actually looks like a beast. Maybe he's going to win this now.
He could have, if he had played it smart.
Second round, Gaethje sends him to the fucking canvas with an uppercut, and I'm like, fuck, this fight was absolutely insane. Just the significant strikes being landed, I wouldn't be able to take one of them. And then round 3 was a bit interesting. It was Gaethje kind of fucking him up, and then the whole last kind of 1 or 2 minutes of the third round, Chandler just didn't even throw a strike and was just taunting Gaethje to come at him. And was throwing spinning...
It was weird.
Spinning Trouble in Paradise kicks. And I was literally kind of like... The whole fight was mean, but at the end of it, I was like, Chandler, what the fuck are you doing?
It just felt real out of place, eh?
Yeah. And I did see a few comments, which I guess I probably will agree with, that he just taken so much damage and didn't, think he could win at that point, that he was just trying to make it entertaining, so I guess. That's all I can think of.
Would have just... Yeah.
That's literally all I can think of it being.
That's probably all it would have been. But it was an odd one.
But Gaethje by decision in an absolute war for the fucking ages.
Gaethje obviously fights for the title.
Yeah, has to. Shane Burgos versus Billy Quarantillo. This was like the dark horse of the card, because I was expecting this to be a full banger, and it absolutely was as well. It definitely delivered.
3 rounds of just non-stop throwing leg kicks.
Yeah.
Fucking. They did. To be fair, I feel like they did have pillow hands, because neither of them really got rocked.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just have chins.
I definitely think they did just have strong chins and a strong heart.
Shane Burgos definitely.
Yeah. Oh, and those leg kicks were just shutting Quarantillo's leg down as well.
Yeah. Leg kicks were a huge factor tonight, weren't they?
Yeah. The crowd was a bit silent for the first kind of half of this fight. I think they were just a bit burned out from Gaethje versus Chandler. Like, they haven't seen a commentary. If that fight hadn't taken place, the crowd would have been going insane for this fight, because it was an absolute banger.
If that fight was Gaethje versus Chandler, that would have been fucking electric.
But it was absolutely incredible when Shane Burgos managed to get the decision win.
Good on him.
Yeah.
They're too low ranked to make a prediction for anything, you know?
Good comeback fight, though, after his loss to Edson.
Speaking
of comebacks, Frankie Edgar.
Just skip over
versus
this one.
Cheeto Vera. Frankie Edgar, obviously a legend, but I mean, the light's dimming on his career at this point. He probably should just retire, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he's 40 years old.
He's just been getting finished more and more after being someone who couldn't be finished for so long.
And this was a brutal up kick as well.
Yeah. Cheeto Vera, I hate him.
He's a fucking prick.
I really just...
Feed him to Yarn. Peter Yarn.
Literally. I've just never really liked him. Literally B-Tech Masvidal.
Not even. He's fucking E-Tech Masvidal.
Yeah. And the disrespect shown to a legend like Frankie during the fight. Some people are like, oh, it's just during the fight, he showed respect after. But I don't know. I felt like he showed his true colours there. Bit of a douchebag. But anyway, knocked out Frankie in the third round. And I don't care what he does.
Yeah. I mean, you could maybe do the O'Malley rematch. But I feel like O'Malley is just above. Yeah, but that's only next month.
I think O'Malley would beat him in a rematch, though. People were saying... Well, again, I just can't get out of the comments. It's just pure entertainment. Yeah. But I'd say O'Malley beats him in a rematch.
Yeah, I'd probably want O'Malley to win.
Co-main event, women's strawweight title, Rose Namajunas versus Weili Zhang. I didn't... going into this, I was kind of like, oh, I don't really mind who wins. I think I would have preferred...
I wanted my verdict to come true. Apart from that, I didn't care.
Yeah, that's true. And I had Zhang by decision. What did you have?
Rose by second round sub.
Yeah, and there was quite a lot of grappling exchanges in this. I was interested to see, because that first fight just ended so fast, we didn't really get to see anything. And then, so Rose won by split decision, and I think this was a absolute robbery, to the max.
We literally called it.
I said, watching this fight,
you could just tell where it was going. As it was
getting, I think it was in the fourth round, I'm like...
I honestly think it was the third.
Yeah, I just saw where it was going, and I was like, this is going to be a split decision robbery to Rose. So I just always know when it's going to happen. It was the same thing when I was watching Max vs Volkanovski. I just see the split decision robbery just playing out in my head, and that's exactly what it was. I thought Zhang won the first 3 rounds pretty clearly to me, with just more significant strikes.
She had some takedowns and
mixing
stuff.
Up with the grappling as well. And I do not know how Rose got a 49. She got a 49-46. So,
yeah. The fifth round was, you could probably say that was Rose. Well, you could definitely say that was Rose, because she took her down pretty much immediately.
Yeah, the grappling from Rose won her those 2 rounds. But to me,
even
first
the
3
fourth
rounds,
you could say was
the first 3 were just so clear to Zhang for me, but the commentary was
Daniel Cormier,
fucking biased on this fight.
Take a look in the mirror, bro.
Daniel Cormier, I love him. He's probably my favourite commentator, but also at the same time...
He was just so off tonight, I reckon.
He was so biased towards Rose. Literally, they were just gassing her up the whole time. Every single thing she was doing, just discrediting Zhang at all. It's this... It's the classic thing where it's
even
Zhang...
in the highlights and stuff, eh?
Yeah, the highlights only showing Rose. It was like
They had a set narrative, and that was what they were gonna.
it's like the videos like of Jan Blachowicz versus Adesanya. It's like everything Jan's landing. There's no commentary, and then Adesanya lands one thing, and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
It was like the exact same thing for Rose, pretty much. And I thought this was just such a robbery. Zhang deserved to win, in my opinion, but I mean, what can you do?
I mean, yeah. I originally thought they gave a 10-8 for the final round, but like
There wasn't enough offense, I think, for a 10-8. But
I just think too much control. Like, but I don't know how someone gave 4 rounds to Rose. That just blows my mind.
Yeah.
And it happened again in the main event.
Main event. This is what I was really looking forward to.
I'd say this is fight of the night. I reckon. I thought Burgos.
I loved like the fights on this card in different ways. Like to me, this was like a technical masterpiece almost and just it was so much heart shown by Colby to fucking get destroyed in the second round by Usman.
Dropped twice.
And I was just so interested to see because Usman's been such a the best fighter, one of the best fighters I've ever seen since he last fought Colby. Like to me at this point, he probably is better than GSP. I think. Like
yeah.
It's obviously a big call, but
if they fought and they're both in their primes, I'd back Usman.
I don't know.
I reckon.
Maybe that is a big call.
No.
But
fuck no.
I'll stay quiet for now anyway. But what was I going to say? Yeah, so Usman just absolutely starching like every number one contender that comes along. While old Colby's fought was Tyron Woodley, who obviously just fell off at the end of his career. So I was like, Usman seemed to have leveled up so much, especially with the striking and Whitman. He just believes in his power. And then that seemed like exactly what it was going to be in the first 2 rounds. It was just Usman, like Colby was just throwing wildly and just inaccurately and missing and just looked nowhere near Usman's level. Usman was landing with the power, the jab, the straight. And he dropped him twice in the second round. So I was thinking like, yeah, this is Usman's fight. Like I didn't see Usman, Colby surviving the third round. And then Colby just showing the heart of an absolute legend.
Just real good combinations and stuff like... The power was the big thing. Like Colby was never going to finish him.
Yeah.
But he clearly wobbled him like multiple times in the last 3 rounds. Like it was real. I don't know. I wouldn't even say he was composed. He just seemed to like turn it up a gear
They said on commentary that and I said it as well watching the fight that Usman's taken all his best shots and knows he can take them
that's what it felt like in the third.
Usman knows he can drop and finish Colby. But Colby absolutely coming back, and then like I don't know if Usman was gassing out or whatever, but like Colby started landing like the way better combinations, I think. And I thought this fight should have been a draw. I thought first round Usman, second round 10-8, and then I gave the rest of the 3 rounds to Colby. And yeah, so I thought it should have been...
The problem is, though, like, because none of the judges gave that as a 10-8 the second round.
Which is fucking
like, they should have... Yeah, they, like, easily could have had Colby winning that. Because if it wasn't a 10-8, if it was 2 10-9s versus 3 10-9s, it's Colby the win.
Yeah, but then none even had Colby. It was all 48-47, so none of them even thought... Colby won the last 3 rounds, and then one of them even had 49-46. Like some of the judges were an absolute crack tonight.
Surely it was the same judge. I can't wait until those scorecards come out.
Yeah, I thought. So I thought it should have been a draw, and then that would have just perfectly set up a trilogy fight as well.
Yeah. Could even then have a fourth if fucking Covington got the win.
It was such a great fight though as well. I was so invested watching it and just seeing Colby coming back.
Yeah, face turn.
He definitely just showed the heart of a champion tonight, and that he does absolutely he is on that level.
Yeah.
Like just to come back after those first 2 rounds, I thought he was done. And thought it should have been a draw, but I mean Usman won. I guess I'm not too mad at that either because he did fuck him up in the first 2 rounds. But I mean
the second one, the first was a bit closer.
I think though with the 5th round that eye poke worked against Colby because like even you forgot like the whole round, and that's sometimes what happens when there's a stoppage. You forget what's happened, and then it was like the last 20 seconds Usman like got the crowd behind him, not even landing a few big shots, but just throwing
Yeah.
big shots at him, and I think that might have swayed the judges to give Usman that last round.
I don't think so. I think the judges were set on there.
They had the earpiece in.
Yep. No, I wouldn't say it was rigged, but I definitely think the judges couldn't. It almost felt like they couldn't be bothered to debate it anymore.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of gave those decisions because they're like, oh,
I
whatever.
just thought Colby was just doing better in the stand up, even though Usman would still land the power shots. Like Colby,
Yeah.
I thought was just doing more. Hurt Usman on a few occasions, and then debatably took him down as well.
He did.
Yeah,
He got his back. Like
they said
the first one, I don't think was a takedown, but
they said he didn't have enough control, even though he had his back.
his back. And fucking yeah, it was the end of the round. Like if there was 10 more seconds, you probably could have counted that as a takedown.
Yeah,
Like because he would have had that control of the back.
but that's that.
Whatever.
That is 268. Usman.
Well, yeah. What do they do next? Covington.
I don't know what Colby does.
Colby has to be Masvidal,
but he's fighting Leon.
but it doesn't matter.
I guess that's the number one contender. But then,
Like, let's
if
be real.
Masvidal wins that-
Masvidal's not. If Masvidal wins that, he's fighting Covington. If
Yeah.
he loses, he drops off.
If Leon wins that, he fights Usman though.
Yeah, and I think
Who else is in
oh,
the mix? You saw what Gilbert there again.
Gilbert,
but I
yeah,
just don't-
fucking
I
Herbert
don't care
Burns.
about Gil.
who else is it? Wonder Boy, but Wonder Boy lost.
Depending how fast like they can get Comes out back in there.
Yeah, that is a big one. Eh?
It's
Or
like
Neil,
some-
you got your boy Neil Magny. Well,
Think
my
of
boy
how,
Neil
like,
Magny.
Yeah, think of how active Usman's been as well as champion.
What's
like,
that? 4 fights in the last like 2 years.
And like some champions take like a year between each title defense. So
Stipe.
say a year Comes out being the animal. Like I'm not.
He could have.
I'm not out here saying Comes out's beating Usman. By the way, I'm just saying like he's obviously got this hype behind him and is a potential contender. And if he can do what he's doing to the high ranked people, and because he fights he had been fighting so frequently before, that he could be against Usman.
Problem is though, I'm pretty sure Hamzat can fight at 185 as well.
He can because he won at 185.
Yeah,
but
against
I think
fucking
he's
Gerald.
got a way better
At 170.
chance at 170.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's 268. Bullshit co-main decision.
Bullshit
But just
decisions all round.
The quality of the fights was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Across the entire night. It was really just the judging that kind of let it down, I thought.
Yeah. Definitely one of the best cards of recent memory.
Every Usman card is fucking insane, because that last Usman vs Masvidal card I
Yep.
thought was like the best card I'd ever seen. I still think I prefer that better, even though this had better fights on it, just because... Oh, I don't know, actually. Because they just had Masvidal getting slept and
Yeah.
fucking... like,
Andrade getting
Wi-
fucking pieced
Yeah,
up.
and then Wiley just out of nowhere
yeah.
getting slept in the first round. It was just fucking insane. But the fights on this card were fucking incredible, and it was great to watch.
Yeah.
I got so invested in all of it.
Yeah, I got more invested as the fights went on.
Especially with the ones where I was like, oh, like...
I don't care, and then I started
yeah.
to care.
Co-main, I was like, oh, I don't mind who wins. But then as it was going on, I was like, getting behind the fighters. And I was just... Because I wanted Colby to win, so watching him come back and fucking almost get there was... I was loving it.
Yeah.
But that was UFC 268, 269 December, Dustin Charles. Another fucking banger of a lineup. I
Yeah.
can't wait for that one. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. What did you think of the decisions? What did you think of everyone's performance?
Was the commentary biased? It was.
Yeah. Does Daniel Cormier need to take a hard look in the mirror? I think he does.
Do Americans hate communists? Yes.
Yes. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Pa, 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 pa.
Pat Barry's penis and underage woman.
CRVPO. Peace.
You're dead.